increased agitation and economic importance being attached to the contested area and political interest are major causes of the upper unrest.
UBC Weekly News Roundup. Minister of Education and Sports this week assured Makerere University's support towards enhancing the research and learning environment and in its quest to become a research-led university. While officiating at the university's 73rd graduation ceremony, the Minister of Education and Sports, General Museveni, appreciated the university for partnering with government through training the required human resources and research intended to drive national transformation. We do apologize for that mishatch. And we'll get into other stories of the week that you could have missed out, still in relation with the same talk of graduation. Now, government also this week requested to ensure that most of its projects are like a Mioge and now parish development model are supported by research. Speaking during the 4th session of Makerere University's 73rd graduation ceremony, which is dedicated to Makerere Business School, the Chancellor Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, emphasized the importance of knowledge in improving the standards of living in the country.
About 4,639 students turned up at Makerere University Freedom Square from Makerere University Business School to receive their awards of PhDs, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees and diplomas during the 4th session of Makerere University 73rd graduation. This makes 30% of the 13,221 graduates, attracting a very huge gathering that called for extra arrangements to accommodate them.
And it has inspired me, honestly, business-wise. I have a dream of starting my own company, and this course has educated me and enabled me on how to start up and actually run a successful company.
Among the graduates is Waswa Mubarak, who has studied Bachelor's of Business Administration from Mob's Jinja campus, a born of Iganga. He attributes his achievement to believing in himself because his appearance is for a child.
I'm good. Right now I'm graduating. I've graduated and I'm expecting to get a good job and do big things as long as we change our mindsets. If we start believing in ourselves, we can reach big.
The spokesperson KCCA, Simon Kasiate, is also among those who graduated with a degree of Masters of Business Administration. His target was to acquire knowledge on how to manage money and progressing to positions like Chief Executive Officer of a company.
Understand the management, not just of organization, but the management of money and the management of institutions to grow money.
One of the lecturers from MOBS in the Faculty of Commerce, Department of Accounting, Chinata Moses, was awarded with a doctorate of philosophy for his study in commercial real estates in Uganda.
There is nowhere you can go and you get a right information, let's say, on how to invest. Listen, the market, the prices of the plots, they are not actually there's no standards.
The Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, said Makerere Business School research is tackling real-life problems like setting standards and ensuring that Uganda imports good quality solar systems and also offering insight on how to increase intra-regional trade.
Active use of solar electricity by households in Uganda. She recommends the government should formulate a policy to regulate the quality of solar photovoltaic systems imported.
Macquarie University Business School has embarked on studies to understand what the Parish Development Model Government Program is.
Now that this one is ongoing, we must support it, and in MOBS, our economic forum is very busy with understanding the parish development model, how it is working, and what are the bottlenecks, and how this can be eased.
The 5 days graduation sessions are ending tomorrow with the College of Engineering and the College of Journalism and Communication. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Gemwa at Macquarie.
In other updates, the Ministry of Education and Sports this week committed itself to investigate all sorts of moral decay in schools, and those found culpable be charged with exploitation of learners. The Minister for Sports, Janet Museveni, while commissioning the reconstructed Grace House dormitory at King's College, Board expressed disappointment of some education stakeholders for neglecting their role of moral stewardship in schools.
The First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has urged education stakeholders to restore the deteriorating morals and ethical standards in schools. This call comes at a time of circulating sexual-related immorality in schools.
The current state of moral decay in our schools around the country, which points to the urgent need for an equal measure of rebuilding and restoration to promote the ethical and moral conduct of our young generation. It is disturbing that the media should be awash with shocking sexual practices among students, which in some incidences are said to be permitted or to go on unabated by the teachers and head teachers. God forbid.
While commissioning the restored Grace House Girls Dormitory at King's College, Ibudo, Minister Janet Museveni committed to facilitate investigations surrounding moral decadence in schools. Minister sounded a warning to education stakeholders for facilitating learners' exploitation.
The Ministry of Education and Sports, on the other hand, has to investigate, to get to the root of the social media reports, so that with actual evidence, government can hold those responsible accountable, so as to bring an end to these vices and to deliver justice to the affected learners and their families. I'd like to further counsel our learners and all the young people to guard their hearts and minds against immoral activities such as all forms of sexual perversion, including homosexuality, pornography, and premarital sex.
The Bishop of Namilembe Diocese, Wilberforce Kityoru Walila, also the patron of the founding members of King's College Ibudo, demands police report on the investigations surrounding moral decay in this traditional school.
In the recent past, it has experienced new challenges of malicious attacks in the media, which are intended to spoil our good name and what we stand for. King's College Ibudo is a church-owned school adhering to the biblical truth and teachings of the Church of Uganda. We request that the findings of the police inquiry are released soon so that the country gets to know who are behind these acts.
Grace House Girls Dormitory caught fire on the 27th of April 2021 and no one got hurt. The school administration, through fees collected, has been able to restore this facility in 1 year.
The project has entirely used the funds generated from school fees and some donors and friends of King's College Ibudo.
The school seeks financial support to upgrade the dilapidated infrastructure to match modern education standards.
And the most pressing ones to the school, which need urgent handling, are renovation and expansion of the dormitories to match with the current needs, 2, shortage of modern science laboratories to facilitate the much needed teaching of science. Need for modern classroom block to facilitate a conducive teaching environment of the new curriculum.
The Ministry of Education and Sports is in the process of upgrading all traditional schools to meet modern dynamics in the teaching sector. Abdul Nasini Lupano for UBC.
The Speaker of Parliament, Annette Among, the Speaker rallied members of Parliament representing East African Legislative Assembly to ensure spreading the gospel via activities to different communities, including the informal sector. Speaker Among says Yala and its activities are best known to a few communities and much more needs to be done. Among hosted the Yala MPs at her residence here in Kampala.
With a love from Speaker's office.
The Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Joseph Ntachiritimana, and Yala MPs shared a light moment at the residence of the Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, Annette Among, in Nakasero, Kampala. The Yala MPs are in Uganda for a high stakeholders meeting aimed at improving service delivery. The absence of representatives from DRC left a question of politics at play.
Don't enter into wars which are not yours. Let's have a meeting as speakers and we agree what should be done by our speaker, our members who are in the community. We should be able, maybe their coming to Uganda would create some sanity, some peace, some reconciliation. But reconciliation on what?
Speaker Annette Among urged the MPs to consider increasing awareness of the activities of Yala to the grassroots. Among noted that a few community is knowledgeable about the contributions of Yala, which should not be the case.
What you do in the community. Most of the people don't understand about Yala. They don't understand about the community. So it is your responsibility. I've always asked my chapter that create awareness of what you do there, what laws you pass there, and when you pass the laws, bring the laws back to the National Assembly.
Speaker Among also asked the MPs to ensure promoting peace and also facilitate regional integration by passing regional laws that adhere to the wants of the population.
As you legislate in Yala, legislate for the people of different countries, of this community. And leave Yala better than the way you got it. Make sure that the way you got Yala now is going to be better than the way you got it when you're leaving after the 10 years.
Sasa, I knew, but we have a dream. The dream you talked about. Even if we don't have, we'll try to make a difference so that everyone would say that we did something special.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Supporters and relatives of legislators Mohamed Segrinya and Alan Sewanyana finally got a smile on their faces this week after the High Court in Masaka granted legislators bail. Judge Ronald Lawrence Tweyanze released the duo on a cash bail of 20 million Uganda shillings each, and each surety 50 million Uganda shillings non-cash.
Kawempe North Legislator Muhammad Segirinya and Machindia West Member of Parliament Alan Sewanyana have been released on bail. Presiding Judge Ronald Lawrence Tweyanze in Masaka High Court, legislators who appeared via video conferencing finally accepted their bail application. Prosecution led by Richard Bilivumbuka, who did not oppose their bail application, however asked court to impose on the accused strict bail condition. However, counsel for the accused Kalebo Alaka objected to some of the conditions the legislators presented for sureties, among others Kalungu West Member of Parliament Joseph Sewungu Gonzaga, former Lubaga North Member of Parliament Kasibante Moses, Masaka City Mayor Florence Namayanja, and Kawempe Division member Bagonza Thomas.
My Lord, we pray that you be pleased to grant non-cash bail because of the circumstances under which these people have been in Chico for over a year.
Judge Ronald Lawrence Tweyanze granted the accused bail of 20 million each cash and sureties 5 million non-cash.
The passports of the applicants shall be deposited with court until further orders are made by this court. D. The applicants are to report once every month or once in a month. They will be reporting to the Deputy Registrar ICD, not here, to so that we can save them the pain of coming to Masaka.
Lawyers for the accused Elias Rukwaga and Medad Segona were in court.
That we don't witness what happened the first time we got bail, because you recall what happened. If we recount what transpired that day, it's horrible, it's awful. So we hope it's not going to happen. It's not going to recur again today, that shortly after their release, again, they are intercepted.
Jackie Okwi, the spokesperson from the Director of Public Prosecution's Office, after court talked to the media.
The Director of Public Prosecutions has power to issue a certificate of no objection to bail under the law. In signing the certificate of no objection in the Member of Parliament's case, the Director of Public Prosecutions considered the illnesses of the Members of Parliament and the fact that the witnesses.
In attendance was the leader of opposition, Matthias Impuga, who spoke to the media.
These two comrades have suffered the indignity they have suffered over their long detention. Has brought a lot of suffering to family, to friends, to the constituencies, and generally bringing unease in the whole country. I want to congratulate court for standing firm today, to thank the lawyers, my comrades, the council, the lead council and the team that have stood into this matter from the word go, and of course congratulate the two honorable members and their families.
Relatives and friends of the accused after court expressed their joy.
Banaye baloya baffe mwebale nnyo tukwatirako simena kyabagamba nina essanyu lya nsusso bannange nfukamidde mu maaso gammwe nga mbeebaza mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
That they are out, at least they will go with they will meet their families, they will meet us, they will go to their constituencies, and mostly they will go for better treatment.
Honorable Seginya Muhammad's Kawempe North Medical Center was closed due to his absentia and financial constraints, and that was a big loss to the common Kawempe North constituents who would go there and deliver at no cost, who would access free medical care at no cost. The same applies to Honorable Sewanyana, who had Sewanyana Foundation.
Kawempe North Member of Parliament Muhammad Segirinya and Alani Sewanyana from Machindia West are facing charges of murder, attempted murder among others. Deborah Namamonde, Chiwanuka Leonard, UBC News.
Moving on, the National Resistance Movement camp in Serere District is working towards ensuring harmony and the party prevailing ahead of the by-elections are slated for Thursday, 23rd February 2023 to avoid a replica of the past. This follows reports and claims that some party leaders have chosen to go against the party position of supporting NRM's candidate, that is NRM's candidate in the Serere County parliamentary by-elections, Philip, and decided to support independence.
The demise of Honorable Kabe, you know, there were opinions that people held.
I can give you an example of the Deputy Speaker who made pronouncements.
And up to date, that pronouncement seems to be one of the ghosts hunting the success of the NRM's flag bearer campaign trail in Serere County.
There was a discussion in terms of the flag itself, which was resolved. And so, as we speak now, those divisions are in our past.
Yes, it is true. Some of my members have decided not to toe that line. One reason is that they had a lot of allegiance to the late, and they had a lot of attachment and a lot of working terms.
Retired Captain John Emily Otekat is a senior politician in the region, and this is what he shares with us about the internal party bickerings within the NRM.
Now, when the late Okabe died, for them they continued supporting the independent candidate, who happens to be Omoding Emmanuel Okabe.
He notes that though party leaders like Alhaji Moses Chigongo have tried to intervene in the matter, little has so far been achieved.
But the vice chairperson also told them that there will be another meeting to hear what they are saying. But I don't know when the vice chairperson, Alhaji Chigongo, will convene that meeting.
According to Otekat and the others, as if the party is not learning from the past mistakes.
The current chairman, LC5, Honorable Chola, of course, he's in opposition. But because there was a big division within the house of NRM, he was able to sneak through because the NRMs divided their votes. Now, when the NRM votes were divided, then the opposition just came through.
Alhaji Moses Chigongo, who is the national vice chairperson of NRM, besides the engagement that the NRM secretariat had done through the directors, also came and met a group of leaders from Serere County. And those issues were resolved.
Our position is the secretariat's position, that we have the flag bearer and we have to tow by his lines.
Serere district is a home to the State Minister for Fisheries, Helen Adoa, who also has the mandate of woman member of parliament. However, her physical absence from the party's campaign trail is what many looks at as betrayal.
The internal conflicts has brought a lot of challenge on the ground. What I know, it may also cause to have more opposition in the district.
We expected that she would have by now joined the trail, the campaign trail. And indeed, as it has been the norm in all the other by-elections, the district woman member of parliament leads the team.
But how about the party vice chairperson Eastern Region, retired Captain Mike Mukula?
They are just fighting for a space, so that I'm bigger than the other one. That's what I'm seeing in the Eastern Region here.
As President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is expected to campaign in the district on 21st February 2023, besides soliciting for votes, it is anticipated that his efforts in uniting the party structures will be key turning point for the party.
Our president is the father of the nation. I know he will call the three candidates. Remember, we have a flag bearer and two other independents. I know our father, the father of the nation, he will call them on the round table.
Even my slogan says, I'm Morikikina, Apollo, and Abar. I'm Morikikina is unity. So there is strength in unity.
It should be recorded that in the 2021 general elections, the late Member of Parliament Patrick Okabe secured victory against the NRM flag bearer, then Philip Owicho, and it is on this same background that the party is likely to face the same setback, which seems to be arising from lack of internal consensus. Robert Nyango, UBC News, Serere.
Moving on, the government efforts of fighting the unemployment burden in the country 10 years ago introduced the Skilling Uganda program and constructed vocational institutions across the country aiming at training Ugandans to curb the unemployment. Uganda is among the countries on the African continent with the highest population of the youths. However, this is a challenge to government because many of them include the educated lacking jobs.
Following the challenge of unemployment, government has been conducting Skilling Uganda programs through making youth to appreciate vocational education. The proprietors of small-scale entrepreneurs are requesting government through the Parish Development Model Program, among other initiatives, to support them financially. The Managing Director, Mutabi Metal Works in Kasangati, Gayaza, Rashid Mutabi, was addressing the media on youth employment.
Model whereby you can train people so that they can develop and provide their wealth and live in a good life. Don't just spend money giving them money, because money will not help them. They'll just eat that money without any progress.
External labor recruitment companies commended government for the conducive environment that has enabled them to continue getting jobs for the youth abroad since 2005. The Executive Director of Free Zone International at Zana in Wakiso District, Geoffrey Chalimpa, however, encouraged the youth employed abroad to love their jobs.
So, kola nnyo ng'olina
He was addressing over 100 youth who are traveling to United Arab Emirates for employment. Mary Namkose, Salongo Kasibante, UBC News.
UBC Weekly News Roundup. Members of the Karamoja Parliamentary Caucus are demanding for forensic audit to be conducted on the procurement and distribution of relief items towards the Karamoja. They are calling to all those involved in the alleged financial impropriety to step aside and pave way for investigations.
Led by their chairperson, Remigio Achia, members of Karamoja Parliamentary Caucus allege that the intended beneficiaries for the relief aid in the form of goats and iron sheets have largely not received the items.
How can iron sheets meant for Karamoja find themselves 300 kilometers away in Bugishu on top of the roofs of houses when the people who are suffering there are waiting for them?
I want to thank the organ of the security that helped us to find out this. Otherwise, we could not know anything. And I also want to observe that it may not be only iron sheets that could have been stolen.
Blaming this craft on the wanting oversight role of the line ministry, these legislators have made some prayers that aim at, among others, create a favorable environment for thorough investigations.
This is not how we run a country. It's like putting a rat in a garden, in a granary of groundnuts. You think the granary is sealed and your seed is safe. Kumbe, the rat is inside and eating the groundnuts. It's a shame to us. We call them to be honorable and be Christian enough or Muslim enough to withdraw so that we can inquire into this matter.
And may the people of Karamoja see justice meted upon them.
Relatedly, a petitioner into the inquiry by Parliament about the alleged mismanagement of the National Social Security Fund is again up in arms, demanding that the Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Goreti Chitutu, be held responsible for the alleged diversion of relief items meant for the region.
I have even been hearing about issues related to Karamoja, that things were not going right. Items are taken, then corrupt officials they mess it up. I have been hearing. So, I mean, MPs from Karamoja have been speaking, like Honorable Faith Nakut has been speaking.
The latest move by Job Matua to hold the minister accountable stems from the allegations that some of the minister's family members were found in possession of 400 iron sheets procured by the government for the communities in Karamoja.
Whereas it is by the brothers and what have you, that one is enough evidence that it is herself. Because she should have known that and should have restrained them. And has not come out to say, I am not the one.
The permanent secretary at the office of the Prime Minister, Keith Mohaganizi, indicated in a letter that investigations were underway to ascertain the facts.
Last year, under the same program, about 2,000 bags of maize were harvested. And those ones that we are told are still in the store. What is shocking to us is that the 3,500 bags of maize that was harvested during the lockdown is missing.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Government, through Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, this week encouraged women who come with innovations of entrepreneurship, which they say gives them opportunity to excel. The Principal and Gender Officer, Ministry of Gender, Kum Christian, said they want to upscale and support whatever these young women come up with.
Capital Solution is a social enterprise that builds, transforms and nurtures social enterprises in Uganda in partnership with Action for Earth. I've supported 12 young women start up businesses that integrate sexual and reproductive health at the initial stage. This has been done through a 9-month project called Power, with interesting and innovative ideas were supported to build them into sustainable businesses. The Chief Executive Officer, Capital Solutions Limited, Dr. Joyce Tamale, said most of the Earth pre-businesses are NGOs.
A very interesting journey, and going forward, what we've decided to do with Action for Health is to scale this program. How are we going to do it? We are going to partner with different partners this is a more sustainable business. And so because we have a training center which is already available, the space is available and capital solutions available, so we are going to identify 12 more young women, but also we are going to do some male involvement. We realize that some young men have been left behind. So in our next program, we shall involve some young men. Of course, the percentage could be 25%.
The Chief Executive Officer, Action for Health, says for any business to thrive, it is important to integrate it with health.
Enterprises, for example, the salon. We have a lot of probably loose talk or unguided talk that goes on with women in the salon as they do their hair. That's just an example of an enterprise. But then the wonders are that if this talk or discussion for the hours that these young women spend in the salons as an enterprise is focused and guided into, giving them facts on family planning methods, where to access them, how, which methods are appropriate.
Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development has welcomed the initiative, saying it gives women opportunity to excel in entrepreneurship and business.
If we can get more women to do that, then I believe we are good to go. We are talking about equality. How do we talking about gender equality? How are we going to do that if we don't bring so many women in this kind of project?
Power is a multi-sectorial project that empowers young women to innovate. This initiative will help to create jobs for these women to be able to access sexual reproductive health services.
We've seen that also empowering them, skilling them even better for the bigger job market, and also getting jobs for many young women. And like I've previously said, when you ask young people what they want, is they want money. But for us, all the time we are thinking about only SRHR services. But without money, again, they cannot access these. So with this innovation and this power program, I think we will meet this very fast and therefore increase access in SRHR definitely.
Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Good to know you're watching and staying. A storm is brewing in Jinja as government agencies investigate incidents of property scam in which the custodian board and government officials remain tight-lipped on alleged reports that are involved in the mismanagement of several departed Asians' properties. Properties have been sold off, returned to Asians, and locals evicted under unclear circumstances. At the height of the controversies, a name of a former minister is mentioned at the center of the scam, but the letter adduced doesn't hold his name.
The Departed Asians Property Custodian Board, an agency charged with the responsibility to manage all assets left behind by over 50,000 Asians who were forced out by the late Idi Amin, is trying to unearth circumstances under which the contented properties are being controlled by some individuals formerly working with the Departed Asians Property Custodian Board. Jinja City in eastern Uganda is not spared in the investigations that seek to try and recover the properties allegedly misappropriated over time with the connivance of some corrupt lands officers in Kampala, suspected political figureheads in government and security actors.
They have their cocoon here. A cocoon. They can even kill you.
You can't just reveal people's whatever for the safety of our lives. We are not in a proper environment that you can just jump on people's names. But they are the same names you hear that this property belongs to General so and so. The other one is for Minister so and so. Hey, that one you can't touch. It is for the other big, and they're just a few names.
Jinja City is characterized by buildings that were constructed and occupied by Asians. However, over the years, there are detected cases involving fraudulent land transactions, forgery, altering documents, and trespassing on the departed Asian properties. The expulsion of Asians in 1972 by Idi Amin Dada left some of the properties vacant. Some were repossessed by the owners, while government also made compensations.
All towns are horrible, but the is worse.
This building along Main Street, plot 9/11 in Jinja City, was taken over by government until 1992, when DMB Industrial Finance Limited repossessed it under the endorsement of the then State Minister for Finance in a letter dated 26 February 1992. We could not independently verify this letter since the name of the minister was not included in the letter.
I wonder how you can say reposition can be by letter, deviating from the original regulations set in the 1982 Expropriated Properties Act. You see, that act has never changed.
You see, those letters are forged. They are being manipulated from Mujinja there, forging the signature of the lyrics into Musofi, into Moses people.
This building is among the 4,000 properties that were audited countrywide in a suspected scheme in which they were illegally mortgaged, sold or encroached upon, sometimes with the connivance of the very institutions and individuals responsible for safeguarding them. However, justice remained delayed.
All that is because there is serious weakness in the police and intelligence. Yes, because if you have those institutions and they act on strict instructions and so on, you clear this matter.
Someone has a land title. He got it from government. His land title has not been cancelled by the registrar of titles. So this person tells you, I'm the rightful owner, I hold the title. So to trace all these things and compound them together and get the truth is something very, very complicated.
But even also, yes, they are not all clear books. Because even my staffs are involved in some of the scandals. So they eliminate somewhat some properties they are involved in.
This building has been used by tenants for residentials and businesses under Crane Management Services Limited, owned by city tycoon Sudhir Ruparelia.
Tetwali tumanyi nti bannannyini kyo kati ne batuyita ne tubagamba twagala ekifo ky'okukola ne tukolagana nabo ne batuwa ekifo ne tutandika okukola ne basooka ne bampa edduuka ne ntandika okukola then oluvannyuma ne nsasula emabega lwensula kwa apartment ne ntandika nayo okukozesaayo ne famire yange.
Muzusa and company advocates would later claim that A1 Fred Hasibiri purchased the property from DMB Industrial Finance Limited and notified tenants to vacate the premises.
Twamugamba tuleetere omwami tulyogereko naye nze nalina agreement kuwensula ya myaka 5 nga tena gwako nagamba nti nibona agenda mu kooti nibona agenda betukolera banene tojja kusobola.
I sought an appointment with Muzusa and company advocates, but the lawyer did not pick calls at the agreed time.
The subscriber you have called does not answer. Please try again later.
After scrutinizing the documents I had collected, there is no clear paper trail on how Fred Hasibiri purchased the property from DMB Industrial Finance Limited. DMB did not notify the tenants after change of ownership to Muzusa and company advocates.
Now, for example, in a letter dated 26th, that is in October 2022, written to Waiswa Eric, who was one of the tenants on that property, Muzusa and company advocates clearly stated that the property had been purchased from DMB Industrial Finance Limited. But in that letter, this company and advocates acted on behalf of A1 Hasibiri Fred, who is their client. But then, if you read in the other letter that was written in February 2nd, that is 2022, under paragraph 1, still written to Eric, who is a tenant on that property, they stated that they were acting on behalf of DMB Industrial Finance Limited. Now, if they had already purchased the property from DMB, then how come they were still acting on behalf of DMB when they were going to evict these tenants? And I think this is a question worth following up.
Yes. So I needed you to look at those people because it is only one person being there selling them those plots. Little Muzusa, oh wow, Muzusa is the man also behind plot 911. Yes. And plot 1C. Yes. That is it on the road.
That's why I told you. Whoever is claiming, claiming ownership would be the very first person to first give you his part or her part of the story. Then thereafter, like, come to us and we also give like a response. Then that will be a balanced investigation. You get it?
The tenants were forcefully evicted under what they allege are unclear circumstances. At the time of the eviction, CID was yet to finalize a report on the ongoing investigations over the property. The custodian board had, at the peak of evicting locals, written to Regional CID Kira Division to investigate the repossession of the property and give a clear report.
There are some anomalies. Yes, current chairman. Those demolitions you are saying there, when you go into deep, they are involved. They get go ahead.
Police declined to comment on the matter, but I had communicated with a CID officer over the same, but no response by press time. Tenants allege that they were tortured by private security companies deployed to enforce the evictions.
My family, my husband, I understand he was the one spearheading. That's why they were like, they don't want to see him. They told him, if you want to enter, just tell us you're living here.
You lock people in their houses with the families, and the police does nothing. I get surprised. Police does nothing. RCC is notified, he does not act. Is there a government?
I am told the alleged gangs that come to break these buildings come, break, and they leave. And we are asking, how does that happen when police is also in the same jurisdiction now?
But any other eviction, during my time when I'm here, in this building here, I'm not aware.
During the one at plot 9/11?
I'm not aware of any eviction. Is there any eviction which we are participating? I don't see, because court order has come here. We are talking of 9 and 11. 9 and 11, I'm not aware.
Then there is also...
I don't, for us, we don't deal with us, because if there's anything private, that one, so you can task the lawyer and the private guards.
Yes, I've received some complaints from tenants, a few tenants. And these owners, they come now because remember, I told you he has a repossession certificate. He won a case in court and is telling you it is not the custodian board which is not custodian board which is the owner, which is in charge. So this person is saying it was on rent distress.
Anewunya kanso mugundivu owamanyi mujinja famous lawyer asobola okuivikitinga abantu kati wali court order nakozesa obumenyi bw'amateeka.
In summary, we wrote to them telling them we are going to renovate the place, so they left willingly. They put their cards and put everything on their cards and left. So we are doing renovation right now.
Then how do they take place? When you see the RCC, I thought the RCC. You see, he should not take things in his hand. Eviction has to have a court order. But the eviction is they are making will cause them problems with the big man. Because we are supposed to protect the locals, not these fraudsters, rich men here.
Because sometimes there are things of legal nature that will always stop the security from intervening. But if something becomes of security nature, the security will always intervene. But we want the city council to be in charge of this city.
But we're in a situation whereby even, everything has been penetrated. You go to court, what comes out of court is not respected. Just imagine that you get a court order that you go, police go and take over this. But even before they leave with the court premises to where they are going, before you reach there, another force has come to block the court order. So we don't know who is working for who and who is fooling who.
Waliwo company security zino eri ku Gabra Road. Jaga yali awo nga 30 nga bagalawo gate bagalawo buli.
We went to Jag Security Company to confirm this allegation.
I
I came, somebody approached me.
Yes.
I asked for the authenticity of the papers as to why something was being done. Then when I noticed that something is not well, I stopped from there.
By press time, demolition was still ongoing.
But again, there was someone who is doing the construction right now. Now they were telling me as mayor to come and give directions to my building committee to go and, take charge and remove that chibati.
Demolition permit and fencing that place, whatever you are doing, you didn't get permission. As a council, what do you say about that?
Well, there's nothing I can add on, but the ownership is not in dispute.
But now, you can't manage where you don't have authority. For me, the management that I'm offering maybe is about controlling the buildings and this, construction, supervising the sites that are under construction. But the real gist of the matter of managing custodian body property in Jinja City, there is a problem.
A title search conducted as at 19th August 2021 by the Ministry of Lands revealed that DMB Industrial Finance Limited was owner of this property, while another search as at 15th November 2022 revealed the owner was Hasibiri Fred. The process of transfer remains unclear. Tenants are already evicted. We are still pursuing the custodian board to comment on the matter.
Sent transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
let me just send.
Yes.
Oh.
Accessing your contacts the old way.
Yeah.
Accessing your contacts with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to access your favorite contact.
Ngalo, ngalo, ngalo.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thank you so much for watching the National Broadcaster and for following this week's weekly news roundup that did come your way this lovely Sunday, the 19th day of February 2023. My name is Sandra Kawunde. Go right ahead and enjoy your Sunday. And of course, we wish you a fruitful week ahead, and a salute to the team behind the scene for making this newscast come your way. Good day.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.